Sausage. Hello, and welcome to another episode of First, the show where I, Marcus Nez, gives you my first impressions on a game, and this here episode is all about the Sorrowvirus, a faceless short story. It is a faceless short story, which is a game about the purgatory. The purgatory? I mean, a purgatory. I don't know if it's the purgatory. Oh my god. It is, though, a short story, in fact, in that you can complete it, a playthrough that is, in roughly an hour, I'd say, give or take, depending on how much you go off the path, which there really isn't a lot of opportunity to do that, at least in my playthrough and a half of the game. If there are a lot of opportunities to explore and discover things, the game itself doesn't do enough to make me want to do that, but I felt very guided and like I didn't have many options in that respect. But it is a game where this virus has come about and plagued the world, though I guess people are giving the virus to people so that they can heal. So there's a lot of writing in this game, a lot of reading. There's a lot of story in this hour game, which can be played through, or is meant to be played through 4 times, because in the achievements, there are achievements for playing through the 4 instances of the game. And I played through one of them, completed one of them, that is, and got an achievement for that, and saw the other 3. But according to the brief description on Steam, on the verge of death of a life unlived, Wyatt Hell, I hate the last name, it's Heyll, I hate it so much, it's so annoying to say, Hell, was given the Sorrowvirus by his parents, a substance that suspends the human soul in purgatory after death, allowing them to heal due to the purgatory's why do I keep adding the due to purgatory's mysterious properties. As he ebbs, Wyatt's only desire is to be free forever. But I got the whole purgatory stuff. I did not realize in my playthrough and all the reading I did that this is something that allows the human body, the physical body, to heal, which is what this appears to be saying to me. But you are able to go back and forth between the regular world and purgatory in a way that reminds me somewhat of 12 Monkeys a little bit, and just being able to transport between these 2 different things. The thing about the game is, while I really like the visuals of it, though it doesn't go too far in any direction, or at least it doesn't get too creative with its art direction. I like the colors, I like the lighting, I think there's some good stuff going on in the game visually, and there's also these dolls which are a part of it, and you, I guess, cared a lot about these dolls, and you feel bad about having abandoned all of them, and they come into play where you are collecting them and you're going into rooms, and there's a sanity thing which didn't seem like it ever really factored in, that was time-based, but I never noticed anything really rushing me to do anything. But you collect these dolls, you light candles, and then the dolls reflect other people in purgatory who aren't conscious of being in purgatory. There's a lot going on in there, and I think there's potential in the story. There's some interesting things going on. I believe this is sort of like a test game experience for a more ambitious, longer project, a long story, maybe a novella first, and then, a full-blown novel of a game. But the game itself, gameplay-wise, is very much just a walking simulator, first-person adventure game, where you're going from room to room. You'll occasionally get puzzles, some of which are about opening locks, and they'll just have the numbers somewhere in the rooms, and they're not really that complicated or difficult. There are not monsters that chase you, but these zombie, charred-looking folk who, if you get too close to them, they'll grab you and they'll be like, oh, and then the game will say, hey, do you want to continue, or do you want to go to the main menu? And I don't know why you would not continue. The game made it seem like there's some kind of gameplay element tied to that, but it didn't seem to really factor in anything. But the limited puzzles, the ease of the puzzles, the general walking simulator aspect, and the fact that I didn't feel like I could really go off or had many opportunities to go off and explore and discover things for myself, that it was just this really, really guided experience. It made it a not so engaging experience. I didn't hate my time playing it, but I wasn't driven to play through the whole thing again and then for a third and fourth time after looking at the achievements and seeing that that's what they intended you to do, because in what little I played of the second instance, it's very, very similar. The only real difference I noticed was a bit more of the charred folk who were in the way and I had to avoid them. But overall, it was pretty similar with some or a lot of the same shit, just again. So that didn't make me want to continue playing, because my initial impression of that second instance was just that it was going to be, for the most part, pretty similar. But I don't dislike it. I think it's potentially worth checking out. It's only $10, so it's not a big ask price-wise. And if it sounds kind of interesting to you, especially the story, because it is very story-driven. It is a very story-driven game. If the story stuff sounds interesting to you, I'd say give it a go. Because I did, despite the fact that there was a lot of reading, I was interested in the story. I think it's a well-written and unique story that did at least keep me playing through that first instance. But to just end with a few more points, the default camera sensitivity was very loose. I felt like my head was on a swivel. One of the viewers watching me stream the game commented that it's like a bobblehead, and that was a very apt descriptor of it. It did feel like my head was a bobblehead, and it was horrible. I had to change that very, 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 very quickly. There is an excessive use of footsteps in the background of the audio to, I guess, add to the ambiance, the mood, the atmosphere, to make the game seem scarier than it actually is, because it's not really that scary. There are a few cheap jump scares sprinkled in, but overall, being the baby that I am, if you know me, I was not scared by very much of it. I was more so annoyed by those constant footsteps because they weren't actually tied to any type of monster or doll or whatnot in the environment. They were just there to make you think there might be something there when there actually wasn't anything ever there. The performance can be a bit rocky at times, which is disappointing and surprising, because I was playing this on the Xbox Series X and it's not the most visually impressive game. It looks good, but it doesn't look any better than a game of its kind from 5 years ago. It's not like the most beautiful game I've seen in a while. It's good looking, but it's not gonna make me do anything in my pants. But yeah, I don't know. It's all right. It's the kind of game that, for me, I played a bit of and left thinking, that was fine. I don't really have anything to say about it in any particular direction. Anyway, which way or however, whatnot. It was fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know what else is fine? This episode of the first, which is over now. Oh God, thank you. That's not how I do it anyway. That will do it for this here episode of First. Once again, I am Marcus Janez. Y'all can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at PX. I just realized that is my outro for all of these things. I'm not gonna change it because of course that is me on Twitter, but like I haven't posted anything on Twitter in I think over a month, maybe months. But I am at PX Sausage on pretty much everywhere. You can also see me streaming games if you want to, like this here game, the Sorrowvirus, on YouTube and Twitch. And I mean, I streamed it on Facebook, but you ain't friends with me on Facebook, and I ain't gonna accept your friend request. But Twitch and YouTube, you can check it out. That's twitch.tv/pxsausage, and of course YouTube, which is where you're watching this. If you are watching it, audio listeners, give it a watch, maybe. And of course, you can check out the videos I make here as well. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that jazz. For you audio listeners, that's youtube.com/pixelated sausage. Speaking of pixelated sausage, you put a dot and a comma after that. What do you got? what do you got? You got my website. And if you go there, you get more stuff like this as well as the art I make. And if you see some art you like, you can purchase a print of the piece you fancy. And if you fancy the site in general and anything that we do, please go over to patreon.com/pxs and support me that way. I forgot that I was going to stop with the us's and the we's. Wee, I gotta go pee. Oh, fuck me. Oh, but not you, because you're wonderful for putting up with all this shit. That's some fucking stupid shit, man. Oh my god. That's it. That's all. As always, thank you for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Me. Bye.
Of course, ghosts exist.